lights out of my car. And I got home at like 10:50. So
that's pretty impressive then. Yeah, I think it's just gonna take us being like the setup takes a little longer. I know. I like had to do it a little earlier because I knew like if I try and like rush it, it feels like it's like 2 minutes is taking like 30 minutes. But I just did it earlier today, and
then everything is going wrong because you're trying to like be fast, and I'm like throwing shit and dropping shit, and like
I was getting stressed. And then all my clothes like are dirty. Like I just have been trying to unpack things, but I was like, I have no clean clothes anywhere.
I know.
And I put on a pair of pants and I had stains on them. Yeah, I was like, I really can't. But welcome back to another episode of So Glad We're Friends. I'm Maggie.
I'm Devon.
I'm Brittany. Welcome. How was your weekends?
Mine was busy. Very chill.
Not really busy.
Brittany's got shit doing.
I was just demoing all weekend.
That is busy.
Yeah. Was it funsies? Was like I really like it. I realized I think that I like it because it's a lot of problem solving. And so and like figuring out how to do something and make it work. Yeah, I would think of it just as like physically. It is a lot of like physically like labor, but it's also like a lot of like, oh, if I cut into this here, like I could be hitting something. So like how do I find out? Like I did something wrong with like the banister. I like unscrewed something too early and then the whole banister started crashing down. And so Joe had to just like hold it for like probably 5 to 10 minutes. I'm sure his like biceps are so in pain right now.
Oh my God, he's like, hurry up.
I know, but then I couldn't like because I didn't plan it, I like couldn't figure out like why it wasn't coming out of the wall. And so I just had to keep going back and forth and like, okay, just another minute. And like I would like help hold it for a second and then like just try and figure out the rest of it. But
is your dad not there yet?
No. So we were doing like all the prep work that like we could do without him. And then when he comes, he'll be able to start just on the like extension piece.
That's cool.
Yeah. I had like a whole like a little bit of a mindset shift around things because I was like, oh, like I wish that we started some of this earlier. Like I wanted to like in January. But I'm like, I'm getting a new kitchen. It's fine. Because like my cabinets are coming today. And I was like hoping that
exciting.
I was hoping like all the stuff could be like done by the time the cabinets are here. And yeah, it's just not going to be the case. Because we're doing custom floor vents, and so those are going to take 6 weeks. Like the actual holes, or like the vent that goes like on top of it. We're like having it color matched, like the wood and everything, so it like is really seamless look versus like a different color. Yeah. So
do you have vents on your ceilings too, or is that just?
I have them only in my basement.
Oh, okay. That's so interesting.
I know. This is the first house I've ever had them on the floor. It's so weird.
Yeah.
It's just a strange thing. It's very interesting.
Because like heat rises, so in places where like you're mostly using heater more, you have it on the bottom so that the heat will go up or something?
That would make sense. And then maybe for you guys, like, it's like the cold places, air.
It's like, yeah, like coming down.
That does make sense.
Science.
Did you ever feel like, Dev, when you can like hear like in other people's rooms? Like sometimes from my sister's room, you can kind of hear my parents' room. You'd be like,
I don't know if I ever had that situation, but I mean, it's in movies and stuff, and I always wanted to be able to do that.
Yeah, like I don't think it works with the floor.
I had a friend that had like a laundry chute, and we would like play and like try to hear upstairs from downstairs or what vice versa.
Yeah, I had a friend that did too, but not till we were like in high school. If that was elementary school, we would have been like going down for sure. I feel like they did have a laundry chute in this house. Like it was part of a closet. And in the basement, there's like a weird cabinet that has like a tall, like basically like chute. But I think they closed it up for like resale to like make it better. I have to like pull up the carpet in that closet today. So I'll see if it was like a laundry chute at one point. You should reopen it because like that'd be so cool. I mean, maybe, but we use that closet. No point. Yeah. And like it's where we put our it's like a huge like floor opening, you know? So I think it would be kind of annoying to not just like a little hole. Yeah. because we put our vacuum in there, like other dog stuff. But
that makes sense.
At one point, I think it was a laundry chute.
That makes sense.
Back in the 80s.
Yeah, back in the 80s. That's fun. I had so much fun with my family, honestly. It was a great time.
Oh, good.
So, just like casual week. Like it was just very fun and relaxing. And
did you see everyone?
Yeah, my family wise, yes. Friend wise, I really did not see anyone, unfortunately. Which made it then like I felt calmer just being with my family, knowing that I wasn't like going all over the place and seeing everyone.
Yeah.
But I got to meet Ashley's baby, and she's so precious. It's so crazy. Like when you like love somebody so much, and then you can like clearly see them in the baby. It's the craziest thing ever. I'm like, oh my god, I love her already so much. Isn't it so weird seeing a friend become a mom? Like,
yeah.
Dude, it was so weird. And I was like, why are you so good at this already? Like,
I know. Even my
it's just I don't even know how to describe it, but it's just like, holy fuck. Like, my mom was a mom, and now you're my friend that I grew up with is a mom, and it's like, oh my god, I can't even believe this.
Even my friend that's like a stepmom, I'm like, oh my god, you're just so good and patient, and like I don't even understand. It's just like so it feels like so second nature to her. Like the way she just like kind of makes it happen. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, I was like shocked. I told her like she made her pregnancy sound so horrible and was complaining the entire pregnancy, but like now that the baby's here, she's like on it, knows everything, is acting so casual and calm, and I'm like, okay, well. And she's already like, the pregnancy wasn't that bad. I'm like, girl, you complained the entire time. Like, it's so funny how in your head it just switches immediately.
Yeah. I wonder if being pregnant, it depends on like who's around you and like other people's experience in addition to like your actual pregnancy, because there's one girl that I'm following and friends with, like Life Between Summits. She's in Canada, and she's like a super active girl, like loves doing like hiking and running, and she's been running throughout her entire pregnancy and like lifting and stuff. And I think that she partially like she has had a good pregnancy, but I think a lot of it is also like her mindset where she's like, I'm going to have a good pregnancy. Like, this is going to be, like, I'm going to enjoy this. I'm not going to be, like, overly scared about things. And because I think there's so much, like, online and stuff. Like, she's, like, she puts out, she's like, don't tell me this shit. Like, I don't care to hear about your, like, shittiness of pregnancy. Like, I am here for, like, the enjoyment of it. So I wonder, like, how much of it is, you know.
Yeah, Ashley's having a rule where she's not Googling anything, and if she needs to know something, her husband or her mom will Google it for her. And I think
really smart. That is so smart.
Yeah, because there's so much. It's like you look up anything and you'll get the worst case scenario possible.
I know. How do you like find the happy medium between like, okay, I want to know stuff, but I don't want to be overwhelmed, and I don't want to be scared, and I don't want to be like just in this like fear state of, oh my god, I don't know how to be a parent kind of thing.
I don't know. But she's doing a great job. She's killing it. And then I came home. Oh, my flight got delayed one day, which kind of sucked. But also we were having fun. It was a great day. My family like took off work, so we were like having a little family fun day. Got pizza. Good. We were drinking, went shopping. So then I would just like continued that for a day, and then I got on the morning flight the next day, so it was totally fine. But then I slept for literally 10 hours and 50 minutes, according to my Oura Ring.
Oh my god.
That's how I was when I got back from Utah. Oh my god. It was like my body was like, sleep now. Mm-hmm. Like, and I did not wake up once. Like, didn't wake up to pee, did not wake up at
oh my god, you were exhausted.
It was crazy. But then I woke up, and my whole family's like, call me when you wake up, call me when you wake up. And I'm like, someone died in my family. Like, what the fuck happened? So I called my mom right away, and she's like, everyone's okay. Your brother needed his appendix out. And like my whole family's in the hospital. And the very next day, my brother literally needed his appendix out. That is so like, fucking scary that like you have ticking time bombs in your body that could at any moment, without any fucking warning. Peyton had to get her appendix out too. Like just randomly, like she was at work. She had a stomach ache really bad, went to the hospital. Yeah, now you're getting surgery, bitch. Of like judging your stomach aches, like of knowing when is that too much where I need to go in. That's so scary. And we talk about that all the time of what if our appendix just randomly bursts. But his
I don't think it would randomly
luckily,
burst, but it would randomly become inflamed.
Yeah. But he's good now. It was just funny that I then woke up.
Like, and then it's like,
you're like ready
to
wake up.
Pay for all this. Like, he's going to get a hospital bill. Like, fuck.
But also,
yeah, I know.
Like,
so
you
not
in your
fair.
like calm state, you're like recovering. You're like, oh, I just woke up from a 10-hour like rest, and then you're like, okay, time for alert. Like,
no, that's literally how
being like, girl, are you okay? Like, did you have any what is it called? Restorative time.
Yeah,
that's so funny. That's exactly how it was. So, but he's okay. Everyone's all good. And it was a fun time.
Well, damn.
Yeah.
Well, at least now he doesn't have to worry about that happening again.
Yeah, that's what I was like. Then it's just done. Over with.
One and done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And only my sister's husband that's happened to, but like nobody else in my family. Is it hereditary?
Seems to be too common.
It does seem
like
very common.
Why do we all know
common
people
procedure.
who have had it? Yeah.
But then why wouldn't we just all get it out in advance?
I know, because why go through a surgery if you're not going to need a surgery?
Yeah. Do you have your tonsils out?
No. Do you?
Neither do I. No.
That was like a pretty common.
I hear that's
like,
horrific.
Not common, but I feel like around maybe like kindergarten through second grade, there was like a good chunk of people who went and got their tonsils removed, or like,
was it for getting
also
sick,
like back in the day, it was a like your kid's getting sore throats a lot, let's take the tonsils out. My mom doesn't have her tonsils.
That's so
that
true,
was just like the thing that they did.
It's like, how did they discover these things? Like, oh, is this organ is fine to take out? Cool.
It's like, Maggie, did you have ear tubes?
No, but my nephew did.
Okay, that was like,
my sister
I don't know
had
if they
ear
still do
tubes.
that anymore, but that was like Jake and Logan both had them because they're like, oh, they're getting a lot of ear infections. Let's put the ear tubes in. I don't know if they still do it, but
7 years ago they were at least. Wow, that happened.
Yeah. My sister had them like
all out or something.
So many issues with like ear tubes, like for the first however long.
Jake and Logan had to wear like earplugs in the bath so that the tubes couldn't get wet, and it was just so funny and cute. Logan had bright pink ones and Jake had bright blue ones, and they would like take baths together with their
That's so cute that it was at the same time. How random.
Yeah, well, they're like 21 months apart, so
that's interesting though.
They pretty much did everything together.
So you went and took Valentine's Day photos of Brooks, and they're the cutest photos I've ever seen.
Cute. I need to send you the most recent video of him. He's like kind of talking now,
like babbling.
And he and he makes like raspy like growling noises.
Does he have like
he was
animal
saying
books or something?
They do animal noises with him.
Yeah, that's
like he always laughs when Logan does a chicken noise. Like she goes, "Oh God," and he laughs, and like Peyton's always like, what does a dog say? Stuff like that. So
that is so cute. Did he enjoy modeling?
Yeah, he was pretty good. I was worried because they had a busy day. They had just gotten home from like Jake's haircut and stuff, and I was like, oh my God, he's going to be cranky, but he was really good. And he's like now does a stank eye all the time. Like, especially if he hasn't seen you in a while and you go and sit next to him, he'll just stare at you like,
he's like, who are you again?
Yeah, like, why are you in my face? Like, it's so cute.
That's so funny.
He's so cute.
How long do the photo shoots usually take? Like, how long does he like sit for you for?
We did like 3 or 4 different sets, and it probably took like 40 minutes total.
Okay.
I feel like we get to a point where he gets in a bad mood, and then we're like, okay, we're done. But he was fine. Our last thing was Peyton had to do kisses all over him.
Oh,
that one was so cute.
He was fine. He did a suit though. It was like too big, and then he like couldn't like move. So he just has this like grumpy face with the bear suit on. Oh, I'm obsessed.
Are you planning these, or does
Peyton does?
Oh my God, that's so cute.
Yeah.
Are they gonna put him online at all?
No.
Wait, so she didn't post them? Like
she does, yeah.
Oh, that's what I mean. Like
to her, like
she
private
does it
account.
to her.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's fair. I feel like it is kind of hard with like just they obviously know what you do and just like how many people you reach like per video and stories and everything. So it's not like, oh yeah, like I'm just gonna share my nephew. It's like,
oh yeah, I would never.
Over 1 million people like are gonna see this.
Yeah.
I think it does start to be weird too. You can tell a difference of like when they get just a little older. Like my oldest nephew now, I feel like that's very different. Filming him versus the youngest.
Yeah,
because it's just like, oh, your friends at school could see or talk about it or something. That's weird.
Yeah,
don't love that. Did you guys watch White Lotus last night?
No, I was watching Love Is Blind.
Oh, I did.
I haven't even watched the new episode of Severance because I'm like on this Love Is Blind kick.
That one dude, what is his name? I think his name's Dave.
David? I
horrible.
know. Don't ever trust anyone named Dave.
Both my dads. Why is everything that comes out of his mouth is like a red or yellow flag? And that one girl just feels as though she would not like someone like him whatsoever. And like for some reason feels like she's vibing on everything he's saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's reminding me of that other guy with the glasses that like...
Yes.
Oh my God, I wonder how much of it is like fully produced, because like what if they're like snipping just like really like cringy things that he's saying, but like in the context of like everything else it like makes sense or it's sweet or something, and then she's probably. Like, you know what I mean? And then we're only seeing like this crazy side and being like, oh my God, like why are you so stupid? Then she's like, but what about all this other stuff that he's actually said too?
Yeah, I kept watching it. I've watched like 3 or 4 episodes and it seems like he gets better.
Oh, okay.
But like he did start every date, he'd asked every girl, so what's wrong with you? That's and so like he's like kept telling everyone, I work in aesthetics, so I'm around a lot of Botox, plastic surgery. I work in aesthetics. He kept saying, I'm like, okay, what do you do in aesthetics? What do you mean? He's like
but
also
big
sales rep or something.
His thing says medical device sales, like under his name.
Yeah. So why isn't he saying he's a sale? I don't know. He was really annoying me.
He's probably an aesthetic. He works in med device sales for like aesthetic products.
Yeah. He sells boob implants.
Yeah, interesting. Maybe. But the girls seem good. I kind of like all the girls so far.
Yeah. I'm interested to see some of them like once they get out into the real world and are in like relationships, because
that's like when it becomes the most interesting.
There's this one girl who's
in, like the pods
for drug addicts, and she had like she's very avoidant, and like I'm very interested to see how her relationship is going to work out when she's like.
Is that the one who's never had a relationship, or which one are you talking about?
I don't remember. I just remember she was saying, like, she had a conversation with the guy she liked, and she's like, I'm avoidant attachment. And he's like, oh, I'm anxious attachment. And then he's like, that's kind of makes me nervous that I'm not going to feel confident in our relationship. You're just going to like leave at any sign of, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't think I got confused by one of the guys, and I thought he was a different guy for the longest time. And then I was like, oh, it's this guy. I don't
Yeah, it's so hard when you start a new show to like learn all of their names and figure out who people are and who you like and not.
Yeah, and they don't show
in the pods for before they go out into the world.
I honestly don't know.
Like, I think it depends too on how many people. And they said this one was the largest amount of people, I think.
Oh, like they increased like how many people they are doing like the connections with.
Yeah, which is good. I feel like that's
really
probably the smartest thing to do, right? Or just to increase odds.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But also, it's weird when people like people get engaged and then they still have to stay in the.
Yeah, that's what I don't understand, because it seems like it takes, like, say they get engaged like the earliest, it seems like they then just wait that time. Yeah. Like they don't let them meet early. It's like they're just chilling. Wait, like I'd want to be like, okay, maybe let's not get engaged. Like let's just wait so we can keep talking every day.
Yeah, and maybe it's the way they edit it too and piece the episodes together. Maybe they're not getting engaged really early on.
It's just like
edited that way.
These engagements will never not be the most cringy things ever.
Oh my God, I know.
Because they do the proposal in the pod.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They get to like veto it, right? Like they have like one veto or something.
No.
What do you mean veto?
Like they can like before they walk down the aisle, or like when they are like in the aisle, they can be like, never mind, I can't do this.
At the very end, they have to go down the aisle, and then when they're like, do you take this person, blah blah blah, they can either say yes or no. It's crazy. But they can also break up during the course of their living together.
Yeah. I think they kind of need to force them to stay together more, though, because, like, what was that last one? The ultimatum, when, like, only 2 of the couples were together at the end.
Yeah.
I
didn't watch that one.
But the guy, he said, he was like, would you like to get engaged to me? Or something like that.
What?
Like,
nothing like romantic?
It was weird.
That's so
like,
weird.
Instead of saying, will you marry me? Would you like to get engaged with me?
How was the new season of White Lotus?
It's good. I think it's gonna be good. It was very much like setting up the whole plot. Like, just
is it like a slow beginning?
Interesting. Yeah, like nothing happened at all.
Maybe that's why I have a hard time. Like, I still have watched that same first 2 episodes like numerous times, and
probably because they have to like set it up of the resort, and then like the people who work at the resort, and then also all the like characters.
I'm like, I feel like a few of the shows that I've been watching, they do the setup. Like, they have a lot of the setup, and I guess for some shows I've been like noticing that pattern more, and I'm like, okay, just wait out until the 3rd episode. Because I just started Dark Matter, which is like another dystopian type of like TV show on Apple, of course. I'm a big Apple girl.
Apple's the best.
It really is. And this show is just like, wow. But the first 2 episodes were a lot of setup.
Okay.
And this one, he's like a physics professor, and he comes up with this like theory where you can, like, I don't exactly know. It's like some sort of quantum world. I don't know exactly what the physics is behind it. But either way, he can like he creates this thing where he can go to other realities. So it's like his same exact life in a different reality with like, obviously they make like different choices, and like, so their lives look different. And so it's like the whole show is just about him like going into different realities and things. And
that's interesting.
Like, it's so interesting. It's so weird. I think the trailer is honestly a little confusing. Like, we watched it, I think, twice, and then we were like, okay, let's just try it. And again, the first 2 episodes build up. You have to just go through them to like learn about the world and like what's happening and get more context. And then it gets like really good.
Wow, you did a great job explaining that, honestly. That sounds very interesting. I feel like that was the plot of like another movie or something. But I can't remember
like
what it was called.
Interstellar or something?
Like not Interstellar, but like that where it was like a husband and he would like kind of like time travel, but it was like into different universes.
Time Traveler's Wife?
Yeah, see, that's the one that keeps coming to my head, but I know it's not that title, but that's what keeps popping up.
A similar type of show is, did you guys ever see Orphan Black?
No.
Oh my god, it's so fucking good. It's basically about this, it's similar, like, but cloning. So they've like been able to clone this girl, but like each person is like a completely different personality and like different things about them and like different upbringing. And I think there might be like 3 or 4 seasons of it, but that was fucking good. It was like, the actress is just phenomenal too. Like, she just does such a good job. I wonder if she's been in anything else. But
never heard of that one. Is it older?
I've heard of it.
It is.
It's older.
I don't even, let me see when it came out. Tatiana Maslany is the girl who's like cloned.
Never heard of her.
I don't know if she's been anything else.
Probably
it premiered like 2013, so it's like pretty old, but it's very, very good.
Honestly, like the best time for shows though.
Yeah.
Tatiana, what?
Maslany. Maslany.
Oh, yes.
I guess she's been in the Hulk.
Yeah, she's been in the... Oh, yeah. She's She-Hulk.
Yeah. Heartland, Parks and Rec. Yeah, I guess she
that's cool.
It, but yeah, she's
Severance
really
is still the best.
I feel like now that I'm in this sci-fi like dystopian world type of thing, I can like get into it.
Yeah, and now that you know you have to wait for the setup.
I don't remember what episode I got to. I wonder if Joe started over with me.
I want to watch it again, but I don't know if I would want to watch the first episode again because it is a lot of setup. And what?
Sorry, the dogs just came in. They're soaking wet.
Oh no,
that's so nice.
Hi. Can't go away. She's so bad. I feel like with dystopian things, I need to finish out the whole thing before starting a new one. So like now I feel like we need to finish Silo. And there's only 2 seasons, right?
Yes.
Is what episode are you done on? Or is it going?
It finished like at the beginning of the year.
Oh yeah. Okay. I'm probably
not like connecting in with Silo.
Really?
Like I could just never watch it again.
What episode did you?
I think it was because you thought you were going to see the outside and then you didn't. Okay. And then you were like, okay, bye.
Are you doing like no phone and watching it?
I'm trying to, yeah.
I feel like it's definitely a show where you have to be like no phone because there's so many things to notice.
Yeah. And it is one of the things where it drags you along till then the end of the season, then it picks up again.
I think I'm also just not in love with any of the characters.
Yeah. I feel that.
Like,
I really like the main
character. I love Severance because I love the characters so much. I think they're all like, I want them all to be my best friends.
Yeah, and I thought like Rashida Jones would like come back. Like I thought.
I know. Don't you think that's kind of interesting? Was she like a producer on the show or something? Like
I think so, yeah. Okay. But I'm still like, okay, I feel like still every episode I'm like, when are they gonna pop out? Like they have to be somewhere and they're gonna pop out.
I know. Well, I also thought too that like she's like a big name. So like if you put her into like the trailers and stuff, like that she's part of it and then she's dead on episode 1, you're like, what?
Yeah. But
well, also, I think it's annoyed because I really like the concept of, is the outside world poison? Are they being lied to? And now it's like they're not even that. There's something completely different going on now. Like people are being murdered, and it's like we've gotten off the thing that connected me in the beginning.
But
I know it's probably all going to circle back and make sense together. But like I was really into like we're figuring out what's actually going on outside. Yeah. Like. I don't want to be trapped in the silo.
It does go back. Like, there's like a few boring episodes in there when she becomes a sheriff, and then it does go back to like they're still trying to figure it out.
I do feel like
I think that's just where I'm at right now.
Yeah, they need like the complexity of that to show like the reasons why everyone's staying in. I think, and like why there's
and stuff too.
So much like order and rules and like examples, I guess.
Or I wonder how it was in the book, like because I feel like with shows they're doing a better job of showing every single detail in the book more.
Yeah, that's so true.
Being able to space it out and like not just go so quick with a movie.
It is so interesting that they say like instead of praise God, they say like praise the founders. Like, do they believe that the founders are still like watching over them like as a god would, or like I don't understand the point of them saying
it's like
that.
They don't even really know, and they don't even know what generation.
So the founders that started this silo is equivalent to God to us in the real world because we don't think that we just happen to be here out of nowhere. We think that there's like a bigger almighty figure that like created us.
I would say more so like the people who like wrote the Bible, more so of like.
Yeah. Well, I also think that like the founders are
to them, praise the founders and stuff is kind
of because they wrote like there's like a book.
I think they also say like it's like almost like they saved them versus like they know that the founders didn't create them because like all the people from like the outside world before, like that's how they started, and then they just started like having kids and getting married and stuff. But so I don't think they like think they created it, but they created a place that saved them from this like toxic.
And there's like a book of rules to follow.
So, but it's interesting. So they don't think that there's a God watching over.
Well,
them
I'm sure they're
then?
probably just there's probably other things of like creation, but we probably wouldn't be that concerned with who created us if we're stuck in this thing.
Yeah. But I also think that's where, like, you know, that girl that's like the fertility lady,
Mm-hmm.
like she's somebody who like I think lived in the before times, and so she like has more context and like has different beliefs than the people that only grew up knowing the silo.
Yeah, like where I am, you're still trying to figure out who like lived in the before times and what.
I wonder if the
generation that
show
even was.
is kind of a metaphor for religion, though, because like people just like
probably like
blindly believe that, you know, they can't go outside because they'll die.
I feel like it's government and religion together.
True,
yeah.
Like I think
government.
it's a metaphor for both, because obviously like there's so much like order and rules and stuff,
and the separation
and
of classes and
yeah
stuff.
Yeah, it very much is.
Maybe I'll start using my brain needs to be like working something out, so maybe if I'm like thinking about that while I'm watching it.
Yeah,
that's why I'm with books too. My brain needs to be like, that's why I like thrillers, because I'm like working out like, okay, this is gonna happen or whatever. Yeah,
love that.
I do think that my favorite genre of books is actually thriller. I just have a hard time finding ones that are like really good, you know,
and not disturbing, because most
not
of them are disturbing.
Exactly. So I think that's where like I have a hard time like continuously reading them, versus obviously like romance is so big. I haven't touched Onyx Storm again. I like think I need to read
like chapter 7.
I think I might read the Iron Flame to get back into it.
Did you know that the new Hunger Games comes out like next month? I thought that was like the end of the year. Yeah,
I'm excited.
Why are they not marketing it?
I don't know. My cousin told me. I thought it was like the end of this year it came out or something, but apparently it's next month.
We watched
Is it
all
a new
last year
period
it's
of
Hey
time?
Mitch's.
Oh yeah.
So it's a quarter quell, I think, is when he did it.
Wait,
and
Hey Mitch is
his concept.
Hey Mitch is the guy that like kind of helps
Woody Harrelson. The coach.
Yeah.
So what I wonder though is like what. It's interesting of how old Snow is at that time. Like I was trying to calculate this with my cousin, but Snow would still probably be like in his 50s. But that guy died, right?
Snow?
Like the actor?
Wait, what? Oh, the man, the old man. I thought
the
you meant
old
the
man
guy,
actor.
the kid.
No, like the old man.
Oh my god,
what's his name? Philip.
They probably
Seymour
would hire
Hoffman?
someone else. Oh, that he doesn't play. Philip Seymour Hoffman
Snow?
is like the game creator guy. Snow is like the old man with the white hair.
Oh,
who's now bad.
Was Snow.
That's not Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Okay, well, if the actor is alive, then I wonder if they will just have the same.
He's
actor
probably,
play
especially now, way too old to play that. So I feel like they just find someone that kind of like looks like him in a way. Yeah.
Did you see the girl who got picked to play Elle Woods?
Yes. I was so happy.
She looks so much like her.
Did you watch like her reveal it?
It's interesting they can find actors that look just like them to also do this really hard, good job.
Yeah.
Like you also have to be good.
Like even taking Reese Witherspoon's mannerisms and like things like that.
Yeah, which it seemed like her mannerisms were really
point. I love that.
It definitely made me more excited for it.
I just saw the movie with Will Ferrell and Reese.
We watched it last night.
Yeah. It was really cute. It's like just a feel good, like go lucky, happy movie.
It was cute, but like I was thrown for a loop at the end. Like I was not like Reese Witherspoon and Will Ferrell are not supposed to be romantically together at all.
It ends in a romance.
Yeah,
I feel like you can kind of like you kind of see it, but at the same time, I also thought like for this one, I was like, no, they're gonna just be like good pals. Like,
yeah, that's what I thought, because she's like, she plays the older sister and then he's
like,
his daughter. No, I know, like
I know, when they kissed, I was like,
it didn't need to end that way. Like the whole movie was fine. They were not
everything
romantically
needs to end
introduced.
with a fucking love story.
Exactly, like that other movie. That's why I like that other movie that they didn't end up together, because it could be kind of funny. Like, oh, should we? But like, no.
I did think that they built up like a really good friendship throughout the storyline. So I was like, it really could have just ended as friends.
It was definitely a funny, cute movie. Also, though, I did look at their ages, and they're only 9 years apart. So I guess it's not the actual weirdest thing in the world. But like,
Will Ferrell is
very old, and she looks very young. Yeah,
I could see that movie if Vince Vaughn was playing Will Ferrell's part.
Oh my god, I would love another Vince Reese movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cute. But it was a good like watch overall. It was pretty funny. There's a lot of famous people in it. Nick Jonas is so funny.
Have you guys been seeing the SNL 50th anniversary? Any of that content?
No, I saw like a few people go to the party or whatever. Like,
I was enjoying Miley Cyrus talking. She's like, "Hey, Adam Sandler, my buddy," like while she's performing.
Oh, that's cute. Oh, so you didn't see that they did a sketch with Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively?
No.
I really they were doing it, like the opening monologue. They were like asking if anyone in the audience had a question. Tina and Amy were asking if anyone had questions, and Ryan Reynolds was sitting there with Blake Lively next to him, and he raised his hand and he stood up and like, "You have a question?" They're like, "So Ryan, how are you doing?" And he's like, "What? I'm fine. Did something happen?" Or something like that. And then they're like, "Oh," and then he asked a question. It was stupid, but like, weird. I can't believe. And Blake just sat there.
She didn't say anything?
No.
Did she have like reactions, like facial expressions?
Not really.
So they were trying to, the joke was like, we don't care, like nothing's going on.
Yeah, the joke was like, wait, why would anything be wrong? What's going on? Like, you know, I'm clueless as to how everybody is fucking talking about me and my wife.
That's very interesting. I did not see that.
And do you guys remember that sketch Kate McKinnon always did where she got abducted by aliens and then they're asking her and she's like, they took my pants off, and you know, she's like really Meryl Streep did that sketch and was Kate McKinnon's mom and was exactly like Kate McKinnon's character.
That's so
and
funny.
She was also abducted by aliens. It was so funny.
So the whole thing is streaming somewhere?
Peacock.
Okay.
What do you mean? Like just a little clip
media.
Or
they did a whole concert, which is on Peacock, and then the next day they did a whole sketch show with a bunch of guests, and that's also on Peacock. It's like SNL, but like the 50th anniversary. Like everybody came back and did something. I have not watched it all, but I keep seeing stuff.
That's so funny. That's good. I think SNL is like on their up and up.
Yeah.
And the cast is great. And
yeah,
they're turning things around.
I really wonder if we're going to see more, maybe not even just influencers, but more like TikTok personalities or TikTok like comedians doing like just SNL, like one sketch within SNL, you know? Because I feel like there's so many.
Because a lot of the stand-up people they don't invite, like.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is like I wonder if we'll see more of those, or if we're just going to see more like TikTok personalities and they're like making jokes or making fun of like whatever's happening. Like, for example, like Avery Woods, like would they do a bit on like her scandal?
I think that is still too obscure. Like,
yeah,
I don't think their audience would get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the Blake Lively thing, obviously that people got it, but
I feel like she's like or celebrity and like bigger.
Yeah, she is. Or like when they go through TikTok and do that. But I feel like that's better because it's showing like multiple different videos. And that way, if you don't know every single one, it's like still relevant to people.
Yeah.
That is true that like there is a lot that's like viral or whatever, but it's not like sometimes I miss out on like the most viral videos and I only see it like, you know, 2-3 weeks later.
Yeah.
So it also must be like a huge views. Timing thing because like they'd have to be they'd have to like make sure it's like viral enough that people are like aware of it. True.
I'm surprised they haven't done a sketch making fun of influencer trips. Like they could do a Tarte
oh my god, that'd be so
sketch, funny. But a different brand and like make it.
They
That's something
totally
they could
should.
test to see like if their audience is even in on any of this influencer shit.
Yeah. Well, and that's what
That's a
they're
good
getting from the
point.
writers being younger and being more involved. Like
Yeah.
having Bo and Yang and stuff, I feel like helps them a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, Dev, do you want to introduce what we're talking about? Read your cues. Did you get any?
Yeah. Today we're talking about social media.
So
I forgot to ask the question until I was sitting in yoga, like meditating, and I was like, fuck. And so I just recently asked the question, but I thought we could just kind of talk about. Someone asked me, have I thought about moving? That is not a social media question. Why are you asking me that?
Have you thought about moving, Devin?
But yeah, also kind of wanted to talk about like cancel culture again and just
yeah, you'll have to like explain the Avery situation if you want to get into that, because that's, I feel like most people do not know.
Yeah, so this influencer that I think I just kind of like her because she lives in Arizona and I like the representation. But well, she has a podcast that just recently got signed with Alex Cooper's network, which is actually huge.
Mm-hmm.
Where she like kind of talks about, it's called Cheers, but she talks about everything. Like she's really open, and I think that's why people like her. But she had Harry Jowsey on,
which he's also signed to Unwell Network though as well.
Oh, okay.
So
and she got on this tangent with him talking about the hate that she gets, and they were joking because she's like, all the people that send me hate, I go to their profile and it's like something about being a Christian or like having a Bible verse in their thing, and she's like, that's not very Christian like of you to send hate to me, whatever. And then Harry was like, I think they need a spanking from Jesus or something. And then Avery took it to like another higher, like a more fucked up
next level,
basically saying that Jesus needs to put it in their butt, basically. And people got really, really offended by that, which I mean, I had a hard time even saying that. So like, I see like it is kind of icky to say, like, I don't even want to repeat what she said, and I'm not religious, but also I am just mostly fed up with people letting influencers control their whole fucking lives. Like if you're offended and then you need to make your own post about how you had to unfollow Avery, it's like, why are we giving them this much power?
It's interesting though. No, go ahead.
You have to keep in mind that like, okay, Avery doesn't believe in God. She doesn't believe in Jesus. Like she's not religious. So when she says something like that about Jesus, she doesn't think he's real. So it's like saying Santa snuck in and fucked your mom. Like Santa's not real. So people who believe in Santa, like you're going to be offended by that. But like, she doesn't think of it in that way because she doesn't believe that he exists.
And she's not talking though. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I saw people talking about how like she used the Praise the Lord song when she got signed to the Unwell Network. So she like likes the Lord or something. I'm like, it's a trend. Like,
that is kind of crazy though. Like literally the whole song is just like, thank God for giving me this opportunity, basically.
But it could be like, thank the universe, like praise God, like think like whoever your higher being power is.
Yeah.
Like
I just think like chances are you wouldn't choose that song actually. Like if you're going to choose a song for something, it's always on videos of like pregnancies or
I don't know. I've seen
it
like
is a really good song though.
No, it's a great song.
Videos that it's more like it's like there's like a comedic aspect of it too.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Like I find me shit in 5 days or something.
Yeah, like, I don't know, just like random videos. So I feel like it's not that like I don't know. I think that's a very like big reach. For
I've only seen it like in serious ways, like where really religious people are posting it, and I've even thought like, oh, that's so pretty. Like I would love to use that for my pregnancy announcement. But like, I've thought about that, of the actual words, you know.
Yeah. If it's just like, if we're letting people that we follow online ruin our days, it's just so ridiculous the way, like, the way that, like, I don't know, it just really
I just was listening to Tinks did a podcast today on like the topic of kind of like, will women ever get ahead? And it's mainly because women are like holding each other back and like putting each other down. And she was using the example of like the Park sweatshirts and like them like selling out. And like, she's like, a male would never get online and apologize for selling out their sweatshirts and like explain the breakdown in economics of like how they like have to like buy inventory, and they're taking a risk by like buying all this inventory and then having to like like if they buy too much, then they're just like shitting money away, like holding it in a warehouse or like whatever else. So it's like, when you're starting out, you don't have this like all this money just being able to like do this stuff. And it's just like so interesting because it's just like women complaining about, oh my God, I didn't get my sweatshirt. Like I wanted this sweatshirt, blah, 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 blah. Like, and they're like putting so much blame instead of being like, damn girl, like I'm really bummed I didn't get a sweatshirt. Like, can't
get
wait
a
for it to
different
restock
somewhere else
or something. I don't know, but it's not like, oh my God, congrats, you like sold out. Like I'm bummed I didn't get one, but like I'm gonna stick around for the next drop or something. But like, it's interesting because I saw like Dairy Boy page like did a video kind of like sharing, hey guys, this is coming out, do you guys want to do pre-launch, like do you want, or pre-order or whatever, like we are likely gonna order, like we ordered way more product than we needed to, like that we could, like we're only so big, blah blah blah, but like if this does sell out, which it probably will, do you want like a pre-order? And knowing the pre-order is like, you're gonna get your sweatshirt in 3 to 4 months. And people, and then that's like how she kind of helped it, but like that's still like a lot of people don't really like, they're not satisfied with it, and they're gonna like clog up customer service being like, where's my order, like I ordered this like 3 months ago, and it's like, it said it's coming in 4 months, so like you can't be bitching.
I want to go back to Avery also, but first I feel like girls in general, we're very over explainers, because I think that comes back to that feeling misunderstood, or you want people to understand exactly what you're saying. There's this one girl, I think Julie something, they're like these two lesbian girls that live in like Denmark or something like that, and they have one son and she's pregnant with the second one. But like on her stories, for example, like she'll post like a sarcastic joke or something, and then the next slide is like, none of you understand me, like I guess you don't get my dry sense of humor, blah blah blah. But it's like, I got the joke, like I didn't take anything bad. But she's constantly doing that, where then it makes me be like, oh, like you're replying to every single time people aren't understanding you, or where you need to explain yourself again. So she also just posted that she's trying to get better at that and not do that. But it is funny how it like brings more attention a lot of the times, how you're saying like a man would never get online and be like, I'm so sorry, it sold out. Like we're just constantly trying to over explain ourselves, and then that then leads to the over cancelizations and stuff like that.
That's so true. But like in all kind of situations, like there was hundreds of videos talking about the Park thing, and there's hundreds of videos talking about like everyone's take on Avery and like what she should or shouldn't have said. And it's not
like,
just,
think
like,
of Taylor
accounts.
Swift. Like there's thousands of millions of videos on Taylor Swift. This bitch is never gonna say anything. Like it just is always the smartest to like not say anything. Like I think Avery's apology like made that worse for her, when probably taking a beat would have helped more. But it's interesting the religious hate that you're seeing, because what I've been seeing the most about her from that podcast is that she said that her vagina was like pristine because she's only had C-sections. And then it's girls being like, okay, my vagina's pristine too, just because I've birthed
She didn't say
baby.
Yours wasn't.
But it came off like in that like pick me sense, where it's like, well, I'm fine. I think people mostly, or what I saw was like people were upset with her. It seemed as though she's like flirting with Harry.
Yeah.
And like wanting his attention and stuff rather. But I saw people saying that she has threesomes with her husband and like has publicly talked about that and stuff. So like, I don't know.
Yeah.
People just need to get a life.
I think though that didn't she have like a cancellation like a few years ago?
I think this year, like I feel like her son. Yeah, the son thing. That was funny.
It's funny because there are some people that are just more controversial than others. Yeah. Like, I mean, then you have her best friend Emily over here, who could never do or say anything wrong. Like, she just is just not. I don't know why Avery is so controversial and Emily is not. I mean, but it's also just like personalities are different. That's just how it is. But
it's also like Avery does like to create that sort of like buzz and like shock and awe sort of thing. Like she does a lot of those type of like videos with her husband. Like she's talking about sex or just talking about, you know, just different topics that Emily just doesn't really touch that much. And like, and have you guys looked at Emily's comment section? Because I saw a handful of comments on like Avery's video. Like, how could Emily even be friends with her? Like, it's not like, that's so crazy to me to be like, you're judging not just like Avery now, you're judging like everyone in their circle. And I think I saw it like Tiana, like someone else was commenting on Tiana's videos of like, oh, are you still standing like by Avery, blah blah blah. It's just like, where like you are just so crazy. People are just like reaching so far, and it's like, why is it even your business? Why do you give a fuck? Like, why is this consuming your time?
And are you really that bad of a friend that if your best friend says something stupid, that you're not going to be friends with them anymore? That says a lot about your character and your.
And I don't think like at the end of the day what she said was so bad to where it really would have turned it. Like I kind of think it really would have passed if she didn't say anything, because it really is just those people say that all the time, and that is a factual statement that typically when somebody leaves hate, they do have a Bible verse in their bio. Like if it was left at that, that's like true, and it's trying to say like you're the opposite of Christian like by you coming on my profile and leaving this hate comment. Yeah, you have that in your bio. But it's like when it just takes it slightly too far. But you're right, because if she doesn't believe in Jesus, that's not bad to say, because it's like talking about a fictional character.
Yeah.
But also like all those people should just like leave her page. Like you don't like her making fun of Jesus or whatever, like bye. Like she's not your girl. Like just mute, block, delete her. I don't know. Like it's
Did you guys understand that they're giving, whenever this happens, they're giving that person way more attention because everybody has to say something about it. Like
the only person that I think has like, well, honestly, she's like done it to herself, but like Sophia LaCourte, I feel like is really the only person who like has created like a really shitty downward spiral for herself where she still gets like so much hate and like hasn't really like
but I also think she's doing it.
But she has done it intentionally, but she hasn't like done it in a way where I think it's beneficial to her. Like I don't see her getting more brand deals or like anything like that. Versus like other people, it like helps to just like catapult them into more money, fame, and profitability.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, when you're open and you're sharing your opinions on things or just freely talking, there's going to be people who are upset about it. Like you cannot please anybody, and you can really say anything and somebody will be upset about it.
Yeah.
But it does, like I understand coming from the place of like, if you want everyone to feel welcome on your platform and whatnot, that saying a joke like that does exclude a large group of people. But like if she doesn't care, then that's fine.
Yeah.
Did you see Kristen Johns? Do you know her?
Yeah.
She's married to Marcus Johns. He was like a big Viner back in the day, and she does like beauty, but she's really funny. She's like best friends with JC also. She's always been like Christian, but it's not like her content's like centered around being Christian, but she's open about it. Like she'll post reading her Bible in the mornings or whatnot, but like it's not Christian focused content. But she posted a video like about Avery and about like how it's hard to constantly put Jesus first in like all your content and stuff. But I was just thinking that was a whole nother level of like, it feels like you're coming at her even more if you're posting like how good of a Christian you are and that your content has always felt very Christian like, and it's such a struggle to make your content Jesus forward. It's like, what does that even mean?
So she just made things even more confusing?
Yeah, basically. That's how I felt by the end of it.
But did she specifically say she was talking about Avery, or was it just like
she said this. She referred to the situation, but she didn't say what creator. But she said someone on a podcast.
But Avery's not a Christian, so I don't really understand how it correlates.
Well, see, that's why it goes back at the end of the day to like if so. I think she actually did say that in the video. Like, if somebody is Christian or is wanting to be better at something, then you can call out somebody and say like, hey, you shouldn't be saying that. That's unchristian, like, for you to be saying and whatnot. But if you have no want to be Christian or you're a different religion or whatever, then there's nothing to say to them. Then that just goes into convincing people to follow your religion.
We all say stupid shit, and she didn't realize how stupid it was because she doesn't believe in Jesus. So it wasn't offensive to her. And like, so move on. If you don't it, don't listen to her podcast. Like,
what were your thoughts of her saying like the whole thing was produced and like the questions were all written for her and stuff? I'm like, what does that mean?
What do you mean?
Like, what does that mean? Like, the Unwell Network gives her questions?
And like, I don't understand how her producers could tell her to ask him if he would have sex
exactly
with her.
So that's why I just think it's like the apology made it worse in my eyes. Like, you should have just like stood behind what like, you're saying.
I need media training. Like, I don't think that doesn't really help, because that just basically means that you like don't want to be as genuine. Like, because media training like takes all of the, I don't know, like other shit out of it.
Yeah.
No, that was funny.
But it is interesting. Like, I'm so curious from like a brand perspective if they're like, okay, girl, we got to pause like the next like month of partnerships for you because you did something stupid. Because like in contracts now, there's like specific language a lot of the time that's like, you cannot be involved in like blah blah blah, like sort of shit. Yeah.
Well, I think because people don't like Harry Jowsey in general. He has a lot of controversy. So I think for even having him on is probably like, people would have been mad about that in general. So then you just start nitpicking more and more of like, what else is wrong with this episode? It's the same thing with the Matt and Abby podcast. Like, I always see so much hate about it, but like, if you actually listen to the episode, like, I didn't listen to the full Avery episode. I feel like in these TikToks where of it always like appears worse than the full conversation.
Well, that's like the whole goal, especially because half of these things are like they're not paid by Cheers or like anything. Like, they're just podcast like clippers, and so their goal is to get the juiciest, cut it up in the best way so that people are like replaying it and sharing it and sending it and commenting and all the bullshit. Like, so yeah, like they're gonna try and drive their views up as much as possible.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think like, because people were also mad of like, well, you listened to it and then you still chose to release it, sort of thing. So I was trying to imagine that, because obviously we do that like every week, and you think
maybe
like,
she didn't listen to it.
Yeah, that's what I was either gonna say. Like, either she didn't re-listen to it and just like approved everything, because I feel like sometimes we do that if we didn't fully re-listen, but you're just like, oh, maybe I said something, like maybe cut that out or whatever. But even if she did listen to it, I don't know if I would have like flagged that. Like, I feel like if one of you said that, I would have been like, I maybe would have said like, that might upset some people, but I don't think I would think it would turn into this huge thing at all.
She thought it was funny.
Yeah. Like, yeah, if you said it and like everyone was laughing, I don't know if I would perceive it as so bad.
Yeah. Well, I think this whole cancel culture is so fucking annoying, and I'm so sick of people letting creators dictate their days and moods, and like, just move on. You're on the internet. Something's gonna offend you. Like, I think people are like, I lost my favorite comfort creator today. Who else should I follow? Like,
well, I think that's it, because it's like, you know that they're gonna like them again next week is the thing in my eyes. Like, it's not to me. Like, I could guarantee she's gonna get her followers back and people won't care.
Or they think that they're so much better than her and her followers now, because they're like, well, I can't support her anymore because she made a bad joke. Like,
I guess so. Yeah, it is so weird.
It's just so interesting to me because, like, in real life, like, if someone was to say something offensive, like, if I overheard something in line that was, like, offensive to me, I wouldn't, like, chirp up and be like, oh my God, I'm so offended. Why did you say that? Like, it's kind of the same thing. Like, why do people feel the need to, like, comment or, like, put their business in it if it's not, like, at all relevant to them kind of thing?
Yeah. I think it does, like, it is that where you just feel as though you're so much closer, and like these fans really think that they would be like best friends with you. And so like coming from a place, if I'm a very religious person and I'm like, oh, like Avery just used that song and like she's probably religious too and I love her and I love all of this about her, and then you hear it, it's like it feels to them as though she's making that comment to like your friend, which would hurt. Like none of us would make that comment to somebody that, like, if we had a friend who was really religious, we would not make that comment in front of them or to them, just because you're self-aware and know, like, okay, there's somebody who's very religious in this room. Like, we've talked about that before, of like, you don't know every single type of person who's listening, and it's like, oh, we could make a joke about somebody, I don't know, like any like disability or something. You don't think of every single person, but if that person was in the room, you'd be really watching your mouth of what you were saying. So I think it's just that everybody's very themselves focused, and when you're listening to content, you're thinking about it from your perspective of your own self, and that would hurt. But they are just celebrities, and you can't really put all of your thoughts and opinions on them and expect them to have all the exact same beliefs that you do.
Yeah. They are just there for your entertainment at the end of the day. They're not there to meet up with all of your values and stuff. Like, either be entertained by them or don't.
But then there's the entertainment of talking shit and canceling people. Like, that's a form of entertainment to these people.
So I think that's a problem. People are like addicted to that now too.
Yeah.
Like,
well, it also like ends up being like when someone's canceling whatever, like you are part of something as well. Like, just if you're like a fan of somebody, like being like part of the canceling is like being part of something.
And people are scared to like be on the wrong side of things. Like, oh, I guess this is what we're all doing. I guess we're all boycotting this now. I guess we're boycotting this person.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep up with.
Very. All right, on to questions. Is it better to reach out to brands or have them reach out to you?
Reach out if you're not getting anything.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously better if it's coming directly to you, but
yeah, you have more leverage when they are coming to you, but that doesn't mean just sit around and just wait for brands to reach out to you.
I do think if you are getting a lot of brands reaching out, you should reassess your content and your strategy and your bio and like the type of things you're posting, your cover photos and everything, and like do like a hard assessment.
You have to be attractive to them.
Yeah. And you have to have like certain things like in your bio, like showcasing like who you are and what you do. And like even your cover photos can be like a really big help to brands that are like scouting you. Like if you want more hair care brands, like they should be able to see hair content on your feed. Like if they just look at 9 squares, they're not going to like scroll that much. So
yeah, my old management was very like religious on, oh my God, the word keeps leaving me. Positioning yourself. Position yourself to make brands want to reach out to you. So instead of spending all of your time pitching brands, spend half or more time making videos that the brands are going to see, tagging brands in your videos, making videos surrounding brands, showing brands that you are a desirable candidate for their campaigns. But also, I hated that they didn't want to put any effort in reaching out and introducing yourself to brands. Like, I still think that's really important to be also reaching out to the brands that you're loving and using. And like Brittany will tell me to create videos with a certain brand before we even reach out to them. So she'll be like, do you have a video with a Keurig or whatever? Because I want to pitch them. Like having examples that you do use their product
Yeah, like it's the combo.
And then reaching out to them with that and being like, look, I've tagged you in all of these videos. I'm a big fan. Like, I think there needs to be a combination of both.
Yeah. I think it's like such a saturated, it's not like oversaturated, but it is obviously saturated and there is competition. I think it's like stupid to be like, oh my God, I'm like the only person who does this kind of thing. So I think it is beneficial to like introduce yourself and like make sure the brands are aware of you, even if it doesn't lead to a partnership, like with that first email, at least you're getting on their radar. But I also think that you should definitely reassess things if you're not getting a lot of inbound opportunities.
Because I think that was something like when we first started where people would be like, don't tag the brand, like you don't want to give them content for free or something like that. Like
I like have never bought into that. Like obviously it's so fucked if a brand steals your stuff, but it's way more beneficial to get visibility than it is for like
because I was just gonna say, like, even if you don't have a lot of followers, like I think that's happened to me like 3 or 4 times where the brand has still bought that video that I made already. They just wanted the usage rights to it after the fact. So like I think that's cool too, even if you don't have like all these followers or I don't know.
Yeah. I've had instances where I like really want to get a brand's attention, so I create a really good video with their content and they steal it and then never give me the time of day or like respond to my messages or anything. And that's when you learn like, okay, well, I'm not going to promote your products anymore.
Yeah.
Like obviously I still shop there, so I post links for followers that ask me things about it, but I'm not going to like create content for you for free when you're not even going to message me back when I ask about you stealing my content. Like
just the AI response.
Yeah. Here's a Google form. Like
not the Google form. It's always a Google form.
Yeah.
Is there anything like about cancelizations or something like kind of about that where then we can make another social media?
One that's, do you think there's a limit to growth based on your niche, or how do you healthily not get too in your head about everything you post? Which one would you rather answer?
I don't care.
Niche.
Okay. Do you think there's a limit to growth based on what your niche is?
No.
I feel like that's an interesting question. I do think like as an influencer, it's crazy to me that like there are millions of people that are like fans of Alex Earl. Like it's just crazy how many people you can attract. And like I do kind of worry like, oh, how many introverts are there really that are going to want to follow my content? You feel like, oh, I'm going to peak at like a certain amount of people.
I think it depends on like how much you're willing to evolve, try new things, and adapt like over time. Because I think like if, for instance, someone's like in the beauty space and they are still only posting photos, like that you're not going to grow that way. But like if you're embracing different things, or like even in beauty, say for instance, you're trying to like do certain styles of makeup and then like you are trying to test out like stage makeup or like, you know, costume makeup. Like those are different things that you're still in the space, but you're just testing out new types of content or like different styles of things. So I think it matters like how much you're testing out new things and like how much you're willing to grow and like take a step back and also look at your content and be like, oh, people really don't give a fuck about my like natural beauty anymore. Like I need to try something different with my content.
Yeah. And there's always new people like getting on Instagram or decide like people are changing their interests. So like maybe more and more people start caring about their hair. There's probably always going to be kind of followers that are dropping off, but there's always more people beginning to be interested in like what you're sharing.
Yeah. I also think it's so important to share from your very unique lens as a person, like your own beliefs, your own interests, your own like thoughts and ideas. And it's very interesting. There's this one girl that like I followed her last year because she was like growing and I thought she was like had interesting content, but she was never like very vulnerable or like shared like a lot about her life. And she like came up because she like quit her job and she's like, I'm going to give myself a year and see like what I can do with this. And she was like really disappointed that she like hadn't grown more or like gotten more brand deals or anything like that. And when she was reflecting, she was like, oh, I like really didn't share that much about my life or like my personality. And so she's like started the year off this year. She's like, you know what? Fuck it. Like I'm going to just share like what's happening in my life, and like not like to a point where she feels like she's oversharing, but she like has a new series called like the stay-at-home wife episodes or chronicles or something. And so she's just fully embracing being a stay-at-home wife, but she like wasn't before. She was like, oh my God, like I have to be this type of person. And now she's like, no, like this is just what I do as a stay-at-home wife. I don't have kids. I just have a dog. Like it's just like a whole different kind of lens.
Because I think in the way, like, the more niche, the more people that you can reach. Because say, like, we follow a lot of obscure, like, raccoon farms or, like, an alligator wrangler or, like, something that's so fucking random. But, like, because there's only one of those or two of those, then you have millions of people going directly there. Versus if you post about hair, there's a million people who talk about their hair, you know? So then it's like... you're not getting as focused. But I also think the number one thing, at least I noticed with myself, is the more niche down I get, the higher engagement rather. And I feel like that's what I love the most, and what I notice the biggest difference in is like, if I'm being more specific, talking to a specific someone, they're way more likely to be engaged than if I'm talking to like a sea of randoms.
Yeah, and I think it's hard and scary to get really specific because I'm not going to reach enough people. Like only 10 people are going to care about this. But it reminds you that there are so many fucking people in the world, and there are so many people that are interested in your interests.
But also sometimes that does happen, like of people who are afraid to post. You might post and you might get no comments, like, and you have to tell yourself that that doesn't mean that there's nobody out there that feels the same way you do. You just haven't actually found them yet, and you haven't reached them yet, but like you will. Because I think that's such a scary thing, obviously, when people are scared of posting and they're like, oh, I actually only did get one like and no comments.
I feel like there's this one girl, I don't know if you guys have seen her, but she is like on a weight loss journey, and she started doing like her own workouts in like a it's like a public gym, and she's like being my own like workout instructor to like get myself through this workout. And it's like, but so many people are like relatable, like relate to her being like, fuck, I need this type of class. Like, and she's like, class is tomorrow at 5 p.m.
and she's like actually live streaming them now.
But it's so fucking cool. I don't know, like I'm just like, I think it's such a niche experience of like what she does. And then like there's so many people that are like either entertained by it or like are in the same boat, like, oh yeah, I need this type of motivation to like actually complete my workout.
Yeah, I like how you were saying there's so many different ways to make content around the same subject. Like there's so many workout people, but like she's hit a market that not a lot of people have reached.
Yeah.
So
that's really funny. I love her.
I love her little like call outs where she's like, who's talking back there? Like, let's go.
Someone commented like, oh, that girl behind you is really putting in work, but it's like just herself in the mirror.
I love it.
So funny.
Yeah, if you have a unique perspective and everybody does, then you'll reach more than just your niche, you know, like you'll attract more people.
Yeah.
I also had someone say, hi ladies, what happened to the podcast merch? I know you all have busy lives, but is there a plan for it?
Heck yeah, there is. I was actually looking at it last night and I found a cute idea.
We're only going to order 6 sweatshirts though, so you better jump on.
Good luck.
Your sweatshirt. Best
May the odds be ever in your favor.
No, we're going to try to do a pre-order situation.
We're going to sell out.
But hopefully not like a 3-month wait pre-order.
Well, then
I feel like that's the only way there is.
Otherwise, yeah, that's how pre-orders work.
Well, hopefully you'll get it before Christmas.
We shall see. But we are working on it, people. I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, it's kind of on our goal for February list, so.
I feel like even if we could just get a sample sweatshirt to see what we like. You know?
Yeah, well, it's more like the design too.
There's a hint. Sweatshirt. crew neck?
I think we've straight up said everything that we wanted to.
Oh. Maybe only on Patreon?
Oh, maybe. I don't know. Well, go subscribe to our Patreon if you want to hear us yap more and give behind the scenes details in our merch and our other plans.
Patreon will get first order of the pre-order.
No, we should. We should do that.
Oh, also send us voicemails to our Google.
I was just trying to find the number.
You could even tell us a story. You could tell us like something horrible that just happened to you last week. Like, it's open. If you just need to rant, that would be a fun episode. Just like share your burden with us. Yeah.
Rant.
Oh, we're going to be as negative as you want to be.
Hold on.
If you need to complain about a friend anonymously, well, you would hear your voice, but we're not going to say your name unless you say it.
Could you imagine
your sister,
you,
your mom, your brother,
friend?
your dad, your dog, your significant other? Give us a
call. What
if
our moms just call in?
I don't think.
Okay, the number is 818-839-1884. Let's put it on the screen, Dev.
839-1884.
1884.
Okay, one more time because
a lot of eights. 818-839-1884.
Boom.
We'll ask ChatGPT to make that into a jingle.
818. We all ate.
We're great.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.